What an
What?
amazing intro.
Thanks. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chillporeal. Welcome once again. I'm your host, Brian, the Nerdporeal life form himself, master of the Nerdporeal continuum. And well, with me, I got a special guest, a man, a person of mystery and great intrigue, the one and only CLS Studio. What's up, my friend? Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I wasn't expecting to do any streams anytime soon, but this is fun.
Well,
It's been really funny.
you never know what's going to happen. It's like in Forrest Gump. Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So, well,
Exactly.
now you're on a Chillporeal stream. You're part of the club now, brother. So, CLS, I gotta ask you something. I've seen you in my chat. I'm just curious how you came about my channel.
Well, I think I saw you with Zax, or like in one of Zax's chats. I was like, oh, Nerdporeal, nerd. Hey, I'm a nerd. Why not go check this guy out? And then you were what stream was it? Mario Wonder. I think that's what you were doing. I was like, dude, this guy's kind of entertaining. And then I stuck around for a bit, subscribed, and chatted in almost every one of your streams after that. So now here we are.
Oh, I appreciate that. So yeah, so Zach. So I'm curious. So you know Zach. Who else do you know? I'm just curious.
Yeah. Sorry, what was that?
Who else do you know? That's what I was asking.
Oh, Cannoli,
Okay.
Copa. Who was the other ones? Outcast. There's a lot actually. Some of them are like chatters, and the other ones are actually have channels. So like Abomination AJ,
Okay, know him.
Angry Canadian. He's one of yours. Like he goes on your streams a lot.
He's one of mine.
Well,
he is part of the club. He's part of the continuum. So
Pops. There's one.
Pops. Okay, Pops is pretty. Pops is. I've been loving doing stuff with Pops. I'm definitely gonna have him on again. So, but yeah. So okay. Well, thanks for being here, CLS. And before we even get started, I want to say hello to the chats. We got the one and only Drunken Poet himself. Like and share the stream out on your socials. It really helps. That's absolutely true. And we got Jaden Hamilton, and we got Cajun Corey. What's up, guys? Thanks for being here. All right, so what do you want to talk about, CLS? I got some talking points. So, Planet of the Apes. I figure we start with Planet of the Apes. So how much of Planet of the Apes franchise have you seen? I know you said you've seen the Caesar trilogy.
Yes, the Caesar trilogy, and then the original first and second movie, which is what piqued my interest into watching the Caesar trilogy.
Okay. Did you know I made a video on the very first Planet of the Apes movie?
No, I did not. I don't really look back at old videos too much.
Yeah, it's a retrospective I did. It's one of the oldest movies I became a fan of. It was another movie that cemented my entry into science fiction as a kid. I think I was like 12 or something. I remember it was on TV. I was at my grandma's on a Saturday, and I'm watching the movie, and I see the way the movie ends. And I'm just like, bro, what is this? Like, I'm just like, dude, I'm like, and I didn't even like know what was going on at the time. I was like, what is this? Like, why is this so? I knew it was dark. Like, I knew the feeling. I just didn't know exactly what it was. Like, I didn't know it was like, it was nuclear. We didn't learn that it was, it was a nuclear thing.
I'm glad they chose the Statue of Liberty, so it's not. Yeah, so you're like, oh wait, this is America. This is where New York would be. Oh no.
Yeah. The thing is, but New York's not like that. That little coastal area that they filmed that part in. That's nothing like New York. That's West Coast. So how did the Statue of Liberty get on the West Coast? But I don't know if I'll show you. You know what? I did add my intro, my very first. I did add my intro to that video. You want to see it? It's like it's just a clip of things with music, and you want to check it out? Want to see it?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's so chat. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this too. This is for my plan. This is the beginning of my Planet of the Apes retro. Enjoy. Yeah, that was basically the intro, and that this video. I don't know if it's because of this new movie that came out, but this video has been kind of hitting it up in the algorithm. So I've been getting a lot of boomer comments saying, "Hey, I was alive when this movie came out. I was a kid. That was 1968." I'm just like, oh, same
Years
people, same age
later,
as my dad.
Nerdtorial gets popular.
So like I have younger people that have watched, or people slightly younger than me that have watched like my video game stuff, and then I have older people that have watched my movie stuff. So it's kind of weird how my interests kind of mix up like that. So
Yeah.
but that's cool. So you saw the second film, huh? I was just showing that to a few. I just showed that to AC, not to AC and our other buddy Dred Roberts the other day, and they're like, "What the hell was this?"
Yeah.
Like,
I did not like the second one that much. I barely even remember it compared to the first one. Like the first one, I would be like, oh yeah, this was the first act, second act, third act. But the second one, yeah, second one, I couldn't tell you. I think I
this,
remember the ending a little bit, but that's about it.
did you know that they did take an Easter? So in the War for the Planet of the Apes, they did take an Easter egg from the second movie, the Alpha
Oh
and
really?
Omega, because that on the atomic bomb that the mutants have, it's called Alpha and Omega. Obviously
Oh
from scripture, and they took that. I think that's the name of Woody Harrelson's group or something, militia group or something. I forget
yeah.
exactly.
I was just watching it. I don't think they actually said the group, and they just had the logos on their necks and stuff throughout the
Yeah,
entire movie.
yeah, they were. Yeah,
Um,
you're right. Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. Actually, but bro, that movie, that war, I saw that movie back when it came out. I was like, I don't think I had a dry eye during the entire movie. Like the beginning, the way that movie begins? I was like, bro, they went there, they did that to Caesar. Oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
just like got me so super duper invested in him when that happened. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, his family dying in the cave.
Yeah, in case spoilers.
Kind of. Yeah. Spoilers, everyone.
But I was just like when he runs up because it's in the waterfall and he's in the water, he lives in the waterfall cave and he jumps through the waterfall and grabs onto Woody Harrelson's rappel rope or something. He's trying to
Yeah.
climb to him. I was like, get him! I'm like, get him! And then Woody Harrelson cuts off the thing and he falls into the river below. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be a hell of a movie. So
I know, right?
I
The you first.
no, you say.
So, they don't even give you time to process it either. They're like, oh, Winter escaped, and then you're like, bro, his family just died right
Mm-hmm.
before his eyes.
Oh yeah, because we find out. I think we find out that one of them, I think the white haired gorilla dude, let him go or something. So when they find him in one
Oh,
of the
there we go.
bases, like a few scenes later, they end him. I mean, they basically end him. I was like,
Yeah.
this is getting dark, bro. Like these like there's so much. So the early Planet of the Apes films from the 60s and 70s. I don't know how familiar you are with 70s cinema, but 70s cinema is very, like, a lot of the times it ends on a very bleak note. Like you saw how beneath the second movie, Beneath the Planet of the Apes ends, right?
Yeah.
Remember how that movie ends?
Yeah.
There was once an insignificant planet in this solar system, and now it's dead. And then it just ends. I remember renting that movie. I'm like, this is how it ends.
So wait, then what
How?
does the yeah? So what did the third one do then?
Time travel.
Ah, great. Yeah, what an excuse. Hmm.
So I'll say this. So remember Cornelius and Zara from the first movie and the
Yeah.
second movie? Well, the beginning of the movie takes place in the future year of, well, at the time, future year of 1972, because the movie came out in 71. And like the all of a sudden, Taylor's ship lands. I don't know if it's Taylor's ship or Brent's ship. Brent's the second dude in the second movie, the second astronaut dude. I don't know
Oh, I
which
forgot that.
ship. I'm not sure which rocket they took up, but they land on Earth, and it's Cornelius and Zara. They open up the helmets and, oh, they're apes, and then everybody's like, the Marines, everybody's like, what's going on here? And then they become celebrities, and then, well, then evil government's just like, oh, we don't want these guys. we don't want these guys, taking over, because they find out the truth of what happens in the first couple of films. They're like, we can't allow you guys to have kids and to procreate and all that. And so, yeah. And then let's just say it doesn't end well. It doesn't end well. I'll say that.
So
then it gets even weirder. The fourth and fifth movies.
Why did they turn to celebrities? Like, what did they do? Oh,
well,
they're apes.
I mean, they were apes. I mean, imagine like, you land on Earth and all of a sudden you have a talking ape, and and everybody sees it. The media sees it. They're treated like, they're taken before. They talk. They don't talk at first, but then when they do, everybody, like the media's on them, and then they become delightful and it's relatable. Everybody likes them until the government finds out the truth, and then they have to run away, and they end up becoming fugitives because they want to protect their baby. That was a plot point from the original Planet of the Apes book, the original novel that the original film kind of very, very loosely adapted.
Yeah, that I was just reading your intro, and you're like, oh, based on the novel. I'm like, wait, the movies were based off a novel? I had no idea until just now.
It was based off of a novel. It was based off of a French novel, and it's about a French dude. I forget his name, but it's not the same name as Charlton Heston's character. They changed that. But he goes into space. He lands in the vicinity of the star Betelgeuse, and lands on this planet, and the planet's full of talking, well, maybe not walking exactly, but they're like apes. They're kind of like the apes in the Caesar movies. They're very
crawl.
They climb. They use the bars to cross the street, but they have a technological side to it. And the thing was, it was too expensive for them in the 60s to do it. So
is that where they got the idea for the sign language?
The sign language, I don't know. I don't know where they got I think that was made up for the Caesar movies. So
it worked well in those.
Yeah, because it was like, he initially didn't talk right away. So but he was intelligent enough to use sign language. I don't think he learned how to talk until he's like, no, in the first one.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
I don't know if I'm not sure how many times you've seen the original film, but there was a lot of Easter eggs in all the new movies, especially the Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Like, you hear Malfoy, and it was a fun. I laughed out loud when I heard this. Malfoy's like, "Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape," and all that. Yeah. I'm just like, okay, really? You're gonna go there? And then
that was like one line I remember, because I only saw the first movie like twice, I think.
Yeah, like, and then they tacked in him in saying it's a madhouse. I'm like, well, you don't have to say it's a madhouse. You can just drive the apes up a wall in the sanitarium, and just you don't have to say it's a madhouse. We know the references. You don't have to say it every movie and everything. So, but this new one had this new Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes actually did have a lot more. Did have a lot of It did have more Easter eggs. They had the doll. You even hear the way the doll sounded from the original film. The mama, you hear that.
Yeah, I remember.
You have the scarecrows, the creepy looking scarecrows that are like this that Charlton Heston finds. Well, they use that very same design for scarecrows in this latest movie.
Yeah, I was just watching. Sorry. The War for Planet of the Apes, when they hang up Caesar, it reminded me of the scarecrows statues or poles or whatever you would call them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had that, and then they also had the what else did they have? They had the hunt. They had the famous hunt. You know how in the first movie where you first see the apes, and then they're in the cornfield, and they're shooting. The apes are shooting at the people and everybody. It's funny. In this, I don't know if you ever watched Simpsons, older Simpsons, but there was one where the kids. It was Sunday morning. The kids were out playing. And all of a sudden, Bart hears his mother saying, "It's time to go to Sunday school, time to go to church." And all the kids are like, "No." And then they run to the cornfields, and then their parents are chasing them on horseback and throwing nets on their kids, taking them away and all that. Obviously, I saw that. I was like, dude, this is funny. This is funny as hell. So
yeah, the Simpsons have eluded me. I haven't watched any of the episodes.
Yeah. Simpsons is great. Like Simpsons really, especially early Simpsons, really covers pop culture. Uh, really covers older pop culture than see. So it covers a lot of 2001. It covers Planet of the Apes. Covers a lot. It covers a lot of stuff because it was written by boomers back in the 90s. So, but yeah. So, but yeah, but man, the emotional weight of the Caesar trilogy. The Caesar trilogy is better than all the Apes films except for maybe the first one. I don't
I
know. I
agree
don't
with
know
that.
because I'll tell you this: you haven't seen movies 4 and 5, and what's that I'm hearing? Is that?
Hmm?
I'm assuming that's on your end. What is that I'm hearing?
I am not sure.
It's like
uh,
an echo.
I don't know. I'm not sure. It was glitching out earlier on your end, so maybe it's actually now loading in what I said from that now. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Like your face went dark and your camera was off and stuff,
Hmm.
but it didn't register, so I don't know. Uh,
It sounds like I'm hearing myself on your end.
yeah, I don't have any other devices with volume on. Uh,
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay. I was just curious. So the so what I so out of the three, do you think it gets better each movie? You start with Rise with James Franco, and then you go to Dawn that has Gary
Well,
Oldman, and then
I think War is the my least favorite of the three, just
really,
because how I liked Dawn so much, and it reminded me like because I watched Rise and Dawn on the same night, and then the next day was War. It just
hmm
felt like a letdown compared to the other two.
really
But
why?
I still love War. I was just rewatching it because I liked it. But Dawn, I liked Dawn so much, and then uh, Rise was just it just felt better because it was like introducing all this stuff, you know.
Okay, so you thought Dawn was? It's interesting. I know Dawn and War were directed by the same guy, the guy that did the Batman, Matt Reeves. So you get something it's very different from from Rise. So it's interesting. I actually liked War a lot. Maybe because War was the most emotionally. Maybe I was just the most emotionally invested in War. That
Yeah, but uh, the action parts of War felt either too short or too long. Like when they're doing the well, this technically is an action, but when they're in the prison camp, it like slows down the movie a little bit for me. But that might be just a choice because Caesar's locked up, and and you would like to want to drag that out, and they're planning for all of that.
yeah
I kind of liked the way what's it called? Dawn handled it, where they're like have Koba planning and plotting, while on the same time the humans are uh, coexisting with Caesar, and Caesar's like, "Oh, humans can't aren't that bad anymore, I guess." And then Koba just backstabs him, Like it
yeah.
felt it,
And Cobra ruins it for everybody. He starts the war.
yeah.
Like he burns their village. He burns the village or the place where they're living.
Imagine a villain being good in a monkey movie. Like he's a really good
Yeah.
character, you know.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
funny because Koba like was introduced in Rise. He was introduced for the second test. So in Rise, it was about James Franco trying to find coming up with a virus, developing a virus to help his dad John Lithgow deal with Alzheimer's disease.
yeah.
And they
Did
used apes in the beginning of the Rise. We meet. What's funny, we get another Easter egg. Caesar's mother's name is Bright Eyes. I don't know if you remember, but Bright Eyes is what the apes called Charlton Heston because
Yeah,
of
I
the
caught
bright
on
blue
that when the
eyes
first
and
time I
all that.
watched it. I was like, "Oh wait, yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that." And then
So the Bright Eyes goes on a rampage and busts into. I forgot how crazy that the little rampage she was on was, and then they shoot her
uh
dead when she
yeah.
busts into the boardroom and all that. While they're like like while James Franco's trying to sell the virus to investors and all that.
Yeah, how the doctors didn't know she was pregnant is beyond me. Plot
How they,
convenience.
yeah, how'd they not know that? How'd they not know that she had a kid? Like
Yeah,
like you think there would be people would be checking, looking inside the room and all that. So I don't know. Um, but I liked it. I liked the relationship between Caesar and James Franco and actually John Lithgow too. Um, I just like it felt real, the whole family thing. And one thing I definitely liked that they kept from Rise, and I'm hearing myself again. Rise was, you know how he has his room is in the attic, and he has that big stained glass
Yeah,
design.
I didn't catch that on in the second movie when they were doing the symbolism of his window cross looking thing. When
Well,
he's using that, I'm like, oh wait, that's his room, you know?
that symbolism lasts into in this latest one in Kingdom. So
Oh, it
I
does?
was like, okay. I'm like, yes, I'm like, I know that. So I thought that was cool that they kept that. So, but I thought, like, you know, Andy Serkis, anything Andy Serkis is in my opinion, elevates it. So he was in Lord of the Rings, it's
Yeah.
Gollum. You know, I actually want to. I don't know if you know, but there's been some Lord of the Rings announcements I kind of want to go over next,
Wait, really?
actually. Yeah, and they regard Andy Serkis and
No Rings of Power season
Gollum.
2?
I don't know. This is a Warner Brothers announcement. There's not an Amazon
Interesting.
announcement. So, well, I do have the article. I'll bring it up, but just to conclude about Planet of the Apes, yeah, Dawn, I really enjoyed watching yesterday. So
Oh, you watched it yesterday?
yes, so I watched Rise and Dawn. I didn't finish War because of because I was
Yeah.
busy with stuff. So, but I did love how I agree with you on Koba. Like Koba was a great villain in Dawn. Like he was just like he shoots Caesar, and then then he takes over, and then a guy's like he's like I want you to execute them because they take over the city. Awesome battle. The battle made me think of Lord of the Rings a little bit. Like the humans reminded me of the people in Helm's Deep, and then the apes were like, the orcs and all that.
Yeah. I like how he's like convincing Caesar's son to like Caesar's gone, you must work with me no matter what now. There's no going back. Just
Yeah,
do
and
it.
then they
Kill him.
and then he executes one of can you mute yourself?
Huh?
He executes one of the chimps because of he's like, oh, we follow Caesar, we can't do this. AC is like, are we live? Yeah, we're live. Or are we not live? We're not live now.
AC,
What's
make
up,
sure we're
man?
live, okay? Can you hear us?
I think so. I hope. I haven't seen any other chats. Wait, I don't know.
We're
Let me see.
25 minutes in. If we weren't live, we would probably know.
Yeah, I'm live on X, and I'm live on YouTube. So I got 4 people on YouTube
It's
watching, and I
Twitter.
got 11 what I'm assuming are bots watching on on
Twix.
X. No, not Twitch. X. I'm
No,
actually using
Twix. Twitter plus X.
Twitch.
Twix.
Oh, Twix. Oh,
Yeah, I think.
you sound like you were saying Twitch. I'm like, no, it's not Twitch.
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay, AC. There's a reason it's early. CLS, you explain it to him.
So like, I can chat and stuff at like 10, but my siblings can't. They need sleep, and if I was stayed up and talking while live streaming, they wouldn't be able to sleep because I sleep in the same room with one of my siblings. So it's more of their problem, not mine. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll just go downstairs and I don't know, do 11 or all nighter with the Chillporeal.
AC has another thing. Says, yo, CLS, wear some headphones. Wear some headphones,
Oh,
bro.
that might be a good idea. Do you want me to go put some headphones on?
Yeah, if you can. Maybe that's
All
why
right, give me a sec.
I'm hearing myself and all that. Those were the days, my young grasshopper. Master Po from Kung Fu. Yeah, thanks for being here, AC. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, we're talking about we're talking about the Caesar trilogy. I saw Kingdom Planet of the Apes the other day. Was telling I told you about it. Yeah. So what am I saying? Prophet also saw it, and he's just like he's in he's got a lot of questions. Like he's he's not quite in rage mode, but he's got a lot of he's got other issues I didn't even think about. But there's some problems with this one. There's some problems with this new one. It doesn't measure up to the Caesar trilogy. And I don't know if you've seen the Caesar trilogy, AC. The Caesar trilogy, Rise, Dawn, and War are some of the best films I've ever seen. Like it's one of the most emotionally, it's one of the most emotionally It's one of the few trilogies that I've been emotionally invested from the start, from the get-go. And it's definitely, with the exception of the very first film, and some people might even say it's better than the first film, it's way better than the Marky Mark remake, and it's way better than the 4 sequels of the original. You saw 2 of them, so you saw 3 of them actually. You didn't see Conquest, but you don't need to watch Conquest. You saw
Did that ruin the get rid of the phone?
Say something. Yeah,
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
yeah. I'm not hearing.
Yay.
I'm not hearing myself now. So yeah, man. So yeah,
that works.
So these films, this trilogy, is way better than the sequels, like I said earlier. So, so I have a question. Do you have a favorite scene or favorite moment in those movies? In the Caesar trilogy?
There's a lot. I think I would probably pick from Rise, the bus scene where Koba's trying to kill, what's his name?
Okay.
The head of the company or whatever. That was a good scene in my opinion.
Oh, the in Rise, right? With the
yes, yeah.
And they crash. So the gorilla dude jumps into the helicopter goes and then crashes onto the edge of the bridge, and then at the edge of the Golden Gate Bridge, and then all of a sudden Caesar's just like, he's gonna go, he's like help me, and Caesar's like no, walks away, and then Koba just comes, and Koba being Koba and all that. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just like, whoa. I was like, I didn't see that coming. So but then again, yeah, like he just went up and he started shooting at them. So he was pretty much the bad guy on the bridge, and then they go into the redwoods, and that's how the first movie ends. So
that was a good ending in my opinion. It was, like, set Dawn up perfectly. Dawn. But like it was a good ending to the movie itself. So you could like just watch that and not have to see the other two.
How did you feel about the way War ended?
Like Caesar dying was fine. I just don't think it was a good ending. I don't know why. Just the way they're all, oh, we're setting up a future for the apes, blah blah blah. Yeah, I didn't like it.
How would you have wanted it? How would you prefer to it? How would you have preferred it ending?
I got one scenario in my head. I was thinking, oh, they just killed the new American troops that came to kill the villain. I forget his name. I was trying to remember the actor's name too.
Woody Harrelson.
What's his name? Woody Harrelson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe those American troops they fight off, and like they all die by the avalanche, which I think they did, but they just didn't show on screen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We didn't. I liked how it ended. I liked how they had to escape. I liked how the one thing that it was just like the one thing that I kind of wish didn't happen, because in the beginning of the movie he spares that one dude, the sniper dude. He spares the sniper dude and spares the gorilla dude. Well, the gorilla dude they wanted to keep, but he spared and let go of the sniper dude, and the sniper dude shot him anyways. And it was just like I would have preferred like, I guess people, I guess gorillas, or I guess apes can make mistakes too. Maybe that's what they were going with. But but I would have preferred, some sort of redemption, or he actually be like, well, that guy helped me. I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for him. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was just I liked how Caesar says to Woody Harrelson's like, I offered you peace and you rejected it. I did this by sparing your men. So yeah, it was. He's like, oh, it wasn't personal. It's a typical villain. Response. When something heavy like murdering someone's family, it wasn't. It wasn't personal. It was meant for you. It was business. It was meant for you, dude. Not them. I'm sorry. What did you think of the way Woody Harrelson's character ended? With the because and throughout the movie, and one thing I did like about War that they didn't really address in the other movies was what happens in the original Planet of the Apes. All the humans are mute we don't know why the humans are mute in the original movie, but in War they gave a reason. So it was like like a
Mutation.
virus. It was a mutation of the virus that infected everybody, the simian flu. And
Yeah.
what did you think of like the way the way he ended with losing his voice and starting to lose his intellect to the point where he just go.
It was kind of sudden though, because like he wasn't showing any other signs of the sickness, you know? Like he's just being the boss, and then he's like, oh, mute, and then he just killed himself after Caesar wouldn't, like Caesar
Yeah,
wouldn't kill him.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it was. To be honest, the like, oh no, it was the doll. She had a doll, and he confiscated it.
Oh, that makes way
He
more sense.
confiscated the doll, and then he then got sick, and then
I wonder if he didn't kill himself, how long he would live, Like would he just be a mute
no,
person, live like the
he would
girl?
linger. He would linger like those humans in the original Apes movie. Like he'd just
Oh.
be dumb. He'd just be mute and dumb, or yeah, dumb, stupid. You know.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to the little girl,
Nova, I think she no. What's funny is they name all their characters Nova. All the mute human girls Nova, because the original woman in the original movie was named Nova as well. So the
Yeah, you go
but
first.
I think she stayed with them. She stayed with them, and then I don't know, maybe had kids. I don't know, kids, and then they kind of went off into the wild. And then one thing I'll say about Kingdom, that we do see the funeral. I'll say this: we do see the funeral of Caesar. So there is direct continuity with war in the beginning of this
Wow.
movie. So. And then we find out that several generations happen, and then the apes are divided into several sects, and that's all I'll get into. And our main character is in a particular sect that deals with birds and all that.
Yeah,
So,
I was wondering how they were going to make conflict since all the humans are gone, or
well,
muted
there's the
on,
thing though;
more like it.
they're not all gone, and there's literally there's a girl boss. There's a girl boss
Wait,
in
is she still
Kingdom.
mute?
Nope,
No.
nope.
Interesting.
And that's all I'll say.
Okay.
But
Yeah, we're not gonna get there.
there was a scene that reminded me of The Last Jedi that I just couldn't help but think of The Last Jedi, because there's an actor that kind of reminded me of Jake Skywalker. And
Jake Skywalker.
Yeah.
Who's Jake Skywalker?
Jake Skywalker is what Mark Hamill called his character in The Last Jedi. And he's like, I'm not playing Luke Skywalker, I'm playing Jake Skywalker. So everybody started calling him, Jake Skywalker, gives up on everything and then just dies. Basically, that's Jake Skywalker. So, but yeah, definitely go see the movie. This is just my opinion. You might really like it. The visuals are still awesome. They're like, I love the sequences. Yeah, like there's the beginning where they're doing a coming of age type of thing. The main character and his friends. It's really cool. Really cool. I like the visuals. There was some weight. There was some weight in the movie that they kind of borrowed from the Caesar stuff, but it just didn't really. It didn't have the emotional payoff that you would think.
So, did this movie have a higher budget than War?
I think so. Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Good.
So
that means the CGI is not crap.
Yeah, you might like it. I don't know. You might like it. I have to see it again. I don't want to write it off, but at the same time, I fell asleep during the second half of the movie. So I'll have to see that again. So, but yeah, so that's everybody. So that's basically Planet of the Apes. So I was going to share my screen and talk about Lord of the Rings. So Warner Brothers announced some more movies, and my buddy Salty made a video about it earlier. I was watching it today, but I'll share the screen. It's a Hollywood Reporter. So apparently the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery says they're making more Lord of the Rings movies, and they're thinking that the first one's going to come out in 2026 right here. And it's going to be called
Lord of the Rings. Wow.
It's going to be called, the working title is called Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum. And it's going to be Andy Serkis starring and directing this movie. I don't know if you know this, but in the Hobbit movies, Andy Serkis was one of the unit directors, so he got a lot of experience working for Peter Jackson. So he didn't just act; so he acted as Gollum in the first Hobbit movie. I don't know. Did you like the Hobbit movies? Have you
Yes,
seen the
I did.
Hobbit movies?
A lot of people. The first Hobbit movie, I don't remember too much, but the second and third, oh yeah, I like them.
The first one covers the beginning of the book all the way up to where they are being chased on the misty mountains by the goblins, by the orcs, and they're throwing
Yeah.
the fiery pine cones at them. Gandalf takes the pine cones and all that, and then they flee on top of the eagles and all that. That's how the first movie ends. That's where the first movie ends up. And then the second
Did you
movie,
personally hate?
no,
Did you personally hate the other ones?
I actually really enjoyed them. I felt like I was
Yeah,
watching.
I like them a lot.
I felt like I was watching Lord of the Rings again. They're not as good as Lord of the Rings, obviously. A lot more cartoony, but I was having a good time. I was having fun watching them. Even with
I don't know why people
even the
hate them so
wacky.
much.
Well, people didn't like the wacky chases and all that. It was more cartoony, especially the chase in the first one where they're in the mountain and Gandalf and the dwarves. So Gandalf slays the Goblin King, and then they're
Yeah,
running away from all the goblins, and they're like crashing and they're falling great depths, and they're and they're
yeah, I love that
surviving and
scene.
stuff. But that's because they're not human; they're not men. So I guess dwarves and wizards can handle that stuff. I don't know. I was still able to suspend my disbelief. A lot of people say they were too long, especially the third one. Like the third one, there was barely much in it, and I kind of agree with that. But like especially all the stuff where not Aragorn, Thorin was going mad because of the gold and all that, and people thought
Oh,
that was
I'm warning
boring.
you. I'm
Yeah.
warning you now. I'm not good with any of the names of anyone in the Lord of the Rings except for Gandalf and Bilbo
So
Baggins and all that.
so
But
so
I
Thorin
do
is
remember the
the
movie.
Thorin is the king dwarf. Thorin is the main dwarf leader in the Hobbit. He's the one that gets
Yeah.
slain at the end, and he's the one that they crown king basically. And now that he's the king, they're back in the Lonely Mountain. The gold has
How he like
caused him
faked his
to
death or something.
become the gold has caused him to have dragon sickness, where he's just like he's just super duper selfish, doesn't want to share the load or share the gold with everybody, because once they took back the mound from the dragon, everybody wants their cut. Everybody wants their cut of the treasure. Everybody, the dwarves, the other dwarves, the elves, the people from Lake Town, even the orcs just come and just attack everybody. That's the third. That's
Yeah.
basically the third movie. So.
Oh, did you like Smog?
Oh, I love Smog. With
Yeah, I love Smog.
as Benedict Cumberbatch. But when that came out, Benedict Cumberbatch was in everything. He was in Star Trek. He plays John Harrison in Star Trek Into Darkness. He doesn't play Khan. He plays John Harrison. I refuse to call him Khan. It's so stupid.
Uh,
I don't know.
I totally forgot the
Have you
Star
seen
Trek.
the have you seen the JJ Abrams films?
Yes, the second one I barely remember, but the first and the third, the last one, yeah, I
Okay,
remember those, and I hated them.
the first one it's the first one just celebrated its 15th anniversary. Can you believe that? So that's been widely talked about on the webs and all that. Hey, look who's here. We got Dempsey's here again. All the troublemakers are here. My mama warned me about all this. Yep. And we got this Nosferatu calls. I don't know who this sexy stud is. I don't know who's this guy.
Yeah,
Do you know who this guy
the
Poriel is? I
spirit
don't
god.
know. So yeah, but like, have you played any of the Lord of the Rings games? Like, they came out with a Gollum game, and I heard it was crap. Have you heard about it?
Oh no, I've heard about the Gollum game, but the only other Lord of the Rings type game I even know of is the same people who made Battlefront made a Battlefront-esque Lord of the Rings game. I was thinking about trying that sometime.
Really? Do you remember what it was
Yeah,
called?
Gollum looks like crap though. No,
Gollum?
for the Lord of the Rings one, it was I honestly don't know. I think it was like the fight for
Maybe AC knows.
what's the
AC, what is it? Oh, here
yeah,
he is. He got it right here. Lord of the Rings Conquest. This is what you're talking about.
Conquest, yeah.
Okay. We got all right, so that'll be an interesting thing to try. So yeah, AC concurs. So yeah, so the hunt for Gollum right here. And you know who's going to be involved with it? Peter Jackson.
Who?
Peter
Oh, really?
Jackson
Nice.
and Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens, the three people that wrote the original Lord of the Rings trilogy.
If it's not filmed in New Zealand, it's not canon.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know.
I loved the locations shots and where'd he go? Oh, we lost CLS. Okay, I'll just keep going. He'll come back. He'll make his way back. So, oh, poor guy. So yeah, so Boyens and Walsh. So as lifelong fans of Professor Tolkien's vast mythology, we are proud to be working with the Warner Brothers Discovery film chiefs, Mike DeLuca, Pam Abdi, and the entire team at Warner Brothers on another epic adventure. Yes, precious. The time has come for more to venture into the unknown with my dear friends, the extraordinary, incomparable guardians of Middle Earth, Peter, Fran, and Philippus added circus. Oh, dude. So weather's going to be involved, and yeah, filmmaking. Yep, New Zealand, dude, it's canon. Yeah, right here. If Peter Jackson's involved, remember Peter Jackson's from New Zealand. He's a Kiwi. So, oh, dude. So yeah. So CLS, is everything okay? I mean, come back on. You have the link. So unless it's an internet thing. So. But yeah, okay, we get more fluff here. Lord of the Rings is blah, blah, blah. New Lord of the Rings movies a year ago, cutting a deal with this for over 2 decades. Embrace. So Hunt for Gollum. So is this supposed to be a trilogy or something? We are honored to agree, blah, blah, blah. Lord of the Rings cinematic history. Yes. I don't know. Are you guys a fan of the fact that there's a cinematic history right here? And look who came crawling back. You okay, dude?
My internet sucks right now. Yeah, sorry.
All right, dude.
No. I thought it was just your end because your camera, but no, it's mine.
No, it's never my fault, bro. It's always the guest's fault. No, I'm kidding. But are you
sorry?
So CLS, bro, are you interested in Andy Serkis starring and directing Gollum film, Hunt for Gollum?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Nope.
I don't even know when this.
I don't think,
because I believe, if I remember correctly, Gollum is like 500 years old or 600 years
old.
Oh,
really?
By the time, or maybe even 1,000. I don't remember exactly. By the time Lord of the Rings takes place, I think he's 1,000 years old. I think. Wow. Maybe a little bit younger. I don't remember exactly.
Wasn't he a Hobbit as well?
He was one of the river folk. I don't know if they were hobbits, but they were. I think they were also little people. Yeah, he was probably. Yeah, they were hobbits. They were hobbits, but they had a special. They could actually swim, because most in the books, most hobbits couldn't swim. So like Sam Gamgee's parents, the reason why he doesn't have parents is because his parents both drowned. I think.
Wow.
I think so. I did read it not too long ago, so. Yeah, I mean, so even if Peter Jackson and Philippa Boyens and Fran Walsh are involved, you're still not interested in a Gollum film?
No, I don't think they could do it right. And even if they did, what does it add? Like, it's Gollum. He was only cool because he's just different in the movies compared to everyone else. He's a cool concept, but I wouldn't want a franchise just for Gollum,
So we got Dempsey, my search engine mod right here. He says Gollum lived alone in the mountains for over 400 years until 2941 in the Third Age, when he encountered Bilbo on his journey during The Hobbit. At this point, Gollum's age was 511. Okay.
500 years to make a bunch of movies and shows, am I right?
Yep, long past the average 100-year lifespan of hobbits. Yeah, because of the ring. The ring kept him. The ring kept him around until it didn't need him anymore. So, but what can I say? Gollum is a survivor. So,
yeah.
I mean, I liked Gollum, but I don't think making a movie about Gollum. I don't know why are people so interested in Gollum now? Like they made a game about it.
The title of the film, like it says The Hunt for Gollum. Does that mean that we're going to be following people who are hunting for him and then we go chase Gollum around, or is it going to be us as like Gollum as the protagonist and then
It's
He just gets
probably going to
chased
be
around like
both. It's
what
probably
do I
going
do?
to be from. It's probably going to be from his point of view, and it's probably going to be from these other characters' point of view, like most likely. So, it could be. I mean, I was thinking maybe it was going to be Gandalf hunting him, but then again, I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to have Ian McKellen come back. He's in his 80s now to play Gandalf.
Yeah.
I maybe I don't know what they hunted in the books. They hunted for Gollum. Right before like he was captured and gave away gave away the location of where the hobbits are, Baggins and all that to the ring race, and that's why the ring race get to get to Hobbit Town and Bag End and all that, the Shire.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what else did Gollum do besides hang out in the cave? He got the
I mean,
he got the ring. And then he just got shunned, and then he lived in the mountains for centuries until he met Bilbo, I think.
do you
So
even like the idea of all these prequels? Like the Rings of Power was a prequel to the movies. Like,
yeah,
wouldn't you want stuff after the movies? I don't know what they would do, but
I mean, Tolkien tried to write like I don't know if it was Game of Thrones like, but like a modern, very allegorical, thing that takes place like a generation later or something. And he's just like, I'm not doing this. It sucks. And he never wrote beyond like a few pages, and that was it. So the verdict is CLS. You're not looking forward to it, and me.
no.
I just don't know why they're. I don't know why they're milking this. Like it's This is Lord of the Rings. This is not. I mean, this is the Legendarium. This is not something that just you can just. There's not enough stuff to adapt. I mean, look at Rings of Power. I mean,
Yeah.
they're making
It
stuff
might get
up.
my ticket though. It might
They
get my
might,
ticket though because I didn't watch the Hobbit trilogy or the original Lord of the Rings trilogy in theater, so I'm like, oh, the Gollum film. Why not? It's a Lord of the
you
Rings
gotta
movie.
go, dude. And I know it's a little bit before your time, but bro, you gotta go see Lord of the Rings in the theater in June when it comes out. You gotta get a ticket, go
Sure.
see all three of them. One of the best experiences I ever had. When I saw the Return of the King in the theaters, I was 19. And when you've seen the movie, so you remember when Eowyn's like, I am no man, no, you fool, no man may hinder me. Well, that's actually from the book. And then she's like, I am no man. She takes off and she's like, and then she stabs him. Me and my buddies we're all 19, 20, 21. We're all college age, and we're all screaming like little girls in the theater. And everybody's looking at us like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And that was the night after playing Halo. That was the night. That was after a late night of
Oh, not
playing Halo.
Halo.
That's what we did. That was what we did back in the day. So, but it was one of the awesomest things. And I remember the theatrical version was so disappointing because they cut the Christopher Lee, the Saruman stuff from the beginning.
They
So
did?
so I couldn't see. I did not see what they did with Christopher Lee, the death of Saruman, for another year because the extended versions came out 11 months after the theatricals were released in the theater. So they came out with the VHSs and the DVDs for the theatricals a few months after the movies came out, but we didn't get the extendeds until the following year. So it didn't come out.
Yeah.
So the extendeds didn't come out till November of 2004. So right around my birthday. But yeah, buying Return of the King extended was so awesome.
Wait, your birthday's in September?
No, November.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Were you September? You're September.
Yeah, I'm September.
September, bro. You're September, bro.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a fall guy too. So yeah, my so like for me, Thanksgiving was always like another way to get gifts because my birthday was always like a week before Thanksgiving, so right before
Yeah.
Black Friday. So I got to have I used to get Mario and Zelda games because Mario and Zelda was like my very first thing that I was ever a big fan of. I was a big fan of Nintendo stuff before. I was a big fan of Star Wars and Star Trek and all that stuff.
Even Star Trek? Wow.
Yeah, Star Trek I didn't get. I knew about Star Trek because Next Generation was on when I was growing up, especially in the early 90s. But
What about the original?
The original was on. I actually enjoyed original, maybe because Spock looked like Link and he had the pointed ears. I was a little kid, I kind of saw
Yeah.
Link, a little bit of Link and Spock, and I like the way Kirk, McCoy, and Spock acted together, and especially in one of the movies. I enjoyed it as a little kid, but Next Generation was very boring to me because it was always on. I watched my cartoons during the week if I was home or on the weekend, and Next Generation would be on that same station like right after all the cartoons. I'd be like, "What is this? What they're in
Yeah.
space, but they're
Season 1 and 2 was very boring.
yeah, so they're just sitting around, they're talking, and I'm just like, what's going on here? I didn't have no because I was a kid, I had no idea what was going on. So,
Yeah.
but I wasn't until I was I was an adolescent until I turned 11 or 12 that I got into Trek, and that was because I was looking at the movies at the movie store, and I learned that one of the major character dies in the movie, and I was like, does that happen? Can that happen in a movie? Can a good guy die? And that's how I got initially interested, believe it or not. This is way before I ever saw Game of Thrones or anything where characters die all the time now, because now that's a thing. But when I was growing up, it wasn't so much. So
Yeah, but they just kill off characters for no reason nowadays. Like, oh,
yeah,
here's a
like
new character. This old character can die now.
you ever see The Walking Dead?
No, I'm not interested in that at all.
But that's what happens in The Walking Dead. Like in the beginning, it's like, okay, kid's character dies, but then they kill more characters just for the sake of shock and all that. So okay, cool. So everything cool? Okay. Nas says the Great Silence is the best example of that. Yeah, I rewatched that final part of that movie not too long ago, dude. The Great Silence is. What's funny is they like you said, they came up with a happy ending, but everybody's like, no, it doesn't match up with the that. So so
Yeah.
but you all good, bro?
Yeah, sorry. One of my siblings came in and they were asking me what I'm doing, and I just told them to get out.
Oh, well, I mean, you can tell, hey, it's
Yeah.
okay. Tell them, say, hey, you watch
No,
this
they
stuff.
they even watch you. Like they've been in your chats before, but you have no idea who. And you will
Oh,
not.
okay.
You'll never know.
I guess, yeah, yeah. When you're dealing with CLS, you know, you're so the moment the stream's going to end, I'm going to have amnesia, and I'm not going to even remember what happened here tonight.
Yes.
That's
I'll remind you it's the Matrix, and then you'll
actually
just sleep.
it's actually for Men in Black, but you're close. You're close, dude.
Yeah.
So going into, I was just thinking, you know, kind of segueing into Star Trek. So I'm curious how much Star Trek you say. I know you say you watch Star Trek with your dad quite a bit.
Yeah. DS9 is one of the. It started off with Voyager a lot, but DS9 is my favorite out of all of them, and I watch it. I actually watched it this week. I watch it anytime I have a chance. You know.
What episode did you watch? I'm curious.
Usually the Garrick ones with Julian, or
Okay.
some of the Klingon ones, maybe the Jafadar ones. I didn't like the Bajoran ones at all.
You don't like the Bajorans, you know,
Usually.
Bajor for the Bajorans, that type of deal.
No.
Yeah, I kind of like the Bajoran ones. You know, they kind of grew on me. I mean, I don't know about you, but I loved the what do you call it, I love the episode that kind of do you ever see the TNG episode Ensign Rowe? That's the one where they introduce Ensign Rowe.
Yeah.
And it kind of basically builds up the world building of the 24th century. Yeah, well, not the Maquis, the Bajorans and the Cardassians. So we meet the Cardassians. We meet the Cardassians in an episode called The Wounded, where the captain. So there's a rogue captain of another ship, the Rutledge, Captain Maxwell, is basically attacking Cardassian ships, and he's basically violating the agreements that the Federation had with the Cardassians. And what's funny is the actor that plays the Cardassian captain that's helping Picard hunt this captain. And by the way, the Captain Maxwell is I don't know if you ever seen the Shawshank Redemption. He's the warden.
No.
Same. Yeah. You never saw the Shawshank Redemption, bro?
I was going to, I think, what was it? January. But then I got really sick. I was like, I'm not
Dude,
watching this right
you
now.
you got to see The Shawshank Redemption. It's one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen in my life. Like it's one of those movies where you're watching it, you're doing something, and you're all of a sudden you watch it, and then you stop what you're doing to watch it. And it's got one of the best endings I've ever seen in a movie. Like it's just so uplifting. It's so
Yeah,
uplifting
a
and
lot of my
so.
friends say it's like the greatest movie of all time.
All right, so yeah, so I mean, it's a multi, it's an awesome thing. It's people of all ages love this movie. So, and believe it or not, it's Stephen King. It's based off of Stephen King work. So, um, but yeah, so the guy from Shawshank is the captain of the Rutledge, and then he's like, the Cardassians are hiding weapons, they're smuggling weapons, and they're not honoring our treaty. And then that's basically uh, how that episode ends. They take him into custody, but Picard's like, he's right. We're going to be keeping an eye on you, Cardassians. And then, of course, then the Ensign Rowe episode comes, and then
Yeah.
then that's where the Bajorans. So Ensign Rowe's pretty much the first Bajoran. So I was surprised. Originally Ensign Rowe was supposed to be in Deep Space Nine. Did you know that?
Yeah, she was supposed to be Kira, right?
That's right. But she
Yeah.
decided to take another role, and that role got canceled. So she got screwed, basically. So the one I'll give you this. CLS. I'll give you this. The one episode of Picard that I actually liked mostly.
You like something? Wow.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No,
There was one
I
episode
no
I
no. I
actually,
meant Picard. Yeah.
the one episode of Picard season 3 that I actually enjoyed most of was the one with Ro.
Yeah, it was really well done. Well, kind of. The
Except
show does
except
have
for
its
except,
faults, but it's
except for the
enjoyable.
end. Except for the end and her death. The end and her death were, I think,
Oh
mishandled. I
yeah, that
think
was
they could have,
crap.
like, you're gonna just leave a bomb with her on there. She's gonna do something. You have to just, if you want her dead, just shoot her and
Yeah.
somehow pin it on them. So that I think they and then they had the whole Jason Bourne, Picard's son thing. Yeah,
Oh, that
I'm
was
not,
no. I
I'm
didn't like his son really.
yeah, because like, if had he not left to go to the Borg Queen, none of the bad stuff at the end, the final 2 episodes would have happened.
Exactly.
That's a problem. That was a problem with that season. What I think they should have done, and I've said this on other streams, they there was an episode of The Next Generation called Family, where we meet Picard's family. He has a nephew, he has a brother, and he has a
Didn't the
sister-in-law.
brother die though?
Yeah, and so in the movie Star Trek Generations, he hears that they were both killed in a fire. And
How
yet,
convenient.
in the movie they stay dead. He doesn't use the Nexus to bring them back. So like here, I would have been, I was surprised that instead of making up a son for him that I just don't buy, they should have brought back his nephew, same actor. His actor would be old fart, and his nephew would not have been killed. His nephew would have been alive, because we didn't see his death. As far as I'm concerned, I would have run it as, so they would kept the whole Locutus thing, people being pissed off at Picard for being Locutus. Keep that in mind. And then people would go after his family that were affected by by the Borg, by what Locutus
Yeah.
did. And they would kill, we find out that they would kill his brother, and then they would abduct his nephew, Renee. And then they would burn the house down, and they thought Renee and all of them were dead. And so he finds them alive, and Renee would be
Hello? You there? Internet's glitching. Welcome to the Chillporeal show, starring only CLS. Chillporeal is gone. He is stuck in the Matrix, and you're never getting him back. Hmm. Oh,
Sorry.
look, there. Yay.
Yeah, my internet just freaking happened now. So,
Yeah, for both of us.
but yeah, I would have thought. I think it would have been perfect. Oh, so it seems to have cut off from my X live or something. I don't know. Not just YouTube. I just have YouTube viewers. I don't have X viewers anymore. So,
Yeah. I
but
had
yeah,
a storm the other day, so that's probably why my internet's out.
yeah, I don't know what's going on here. It just happened. I don't know. I was lucky that it just. I was just lucky it just I didn't have to I was worried I was gonna have to restart my computer because sometimes I've had to do that in order to restore internet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but yeah. So you liked. So I got a question for you. You said you liked Strange New Worlds.
Oh no, here we go. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. What did you like about it?
Uh, so I think the Spock episodes were kind of mid, to be honest, but I don't know. It's just the cast feels more like the uh Enterprise. It felt like that, how it was like newer but still kind of old, compared to something like Discovery, which I absolutely hated. And
Okay.
like Discovery didn't feel natural like the other shows. But Strange New Worlds like brought that back, and uh, some of the episodes they feel like Star Trek a little. They feel less like Star Trek and more like just a space adventure show. But the ones that really do feel like Star Trek really do. I don't know. I just liked it.
Okay, that's fair. I did not like it, but that's because I'm a huge original series fan, and they unless they say it's in an alternate universe or an alternate dimension or something like that, it doesn't add up to the original. It just doesn't line up continuity wise with the original series.
Yeah, Kirk and Spock are dealt badly in that show. They don't do good. They don't even need to be in it, honestly, or at
Well, I
least
think I think
Kirk doesn't.
Spock. Yeah, I don't think they should have done an interquel like that. I mean, if you're going to do something with Pike, if you're going to do something with the Pike and the Enterprise crew, you got to be faithful to the Cage. The Cage was the first episode of the first, and the first pilot, according to continuity, takes place a whole like over a decade prior to the episodes with Kirk and Spock. So the Cage was the first pilot with Jeffrey Hunter as Captain Pike. So like the only people that they brought back, only characters that they brought back from that pilot was Pike himself. So I think Anson Mount
Yeah,
is a very good Pike. The problem is he has no agency. Like we gotta remember this is a military ship, and his older his 60s counterpart was a no nonsense character like Kirk and Picard basically. So I mean, like he gets talked over by subordinates all the time. I'm just like, dude, grow spine, say something. Don't let them talk to you like that. Be like Cisco. Cisco would never let. Heck, even when Bashir wanted to do the right thing, and he interrupted a call between Cisco and Ducat. Cisco once
yeah,
the call was over, Cisco was like, "Don't ever do that again." So that's because he's the captain, they're the commander, and there's got to be discipline because this is a military thing. So there was an episode I thought was interesting, but I don't think it really. They tried to redo the Balance of Terror episode, but with Pike instead of Kirk as the captain of the Enterprise, and that ended badly for everybody because the Romulans went to war with them, and they're still at war with the Romulans for like 20 something years, going into the movie era and all that. So, but they've tried to redo the lines that were said by Mark Leonard, and it just the gravitas is not there. So, but is it better than Picard season 1 and season 2 and Discovery?
it's better
Yeah.
than it's better than Discovery and Picard season 1, and I guess maybe season 2. I didn't like season 2 that much, but anything's better than Picard season one in my opinion, and Discovery in my opinion. I did not like season one at all, but
I didn't like
I
it either.
really enjoyed three.
Okay, well, a lot of people did.
Yeah, but I'm glad it wasn't too heavily reliant on nostalgia. Like they obviously did dip their fingers in that, but it wasn't abundant. You know?
In Picard, you're talking Picard, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, there was a lot of Easter eggs and member berries. Member Terry Metalis has his nickname online is Member Berry Terry and all that. Yeah, dude, I was on a crusade telling people why this show is not good. So, but I'm not gonna get into it.
The more you talk, the more.
I think we lost you. Yeah, we lost him.
The Moriarty.
Yeah, the Moriarty part was very disappointing.
Yeah.
I was expecting Moriarty to like help them. I thought he was going to be part of like the thing. No, he was just a hologram, just to for them to hum a tune, Legend of Zelda style. So they hum "Pop Goes the Weasel" and all of a sudden, and the door opens and there's Data. The treasure was Data. The not the McKinley station, the Daystrom Institute, the Daystrom station was basically a temple in Zelda, basically.
Exactly.
So, okay, I made this joke with Prophet, so yeah, because we were both watching it. The ending felt like Return of the Jedi.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, like Galaxy Class ship doesn't move like that. Even inside a big Borg ship like that. So, whatever. That's how that's. Let's just say I'll say this: like it's the best of new Trek. Is it better than older Trek? No, in my opinion, no. So, but yeah. So, but you and I we're in agreement on Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine is my favorite written series. It's not my favorite series. My favorite series will still be the original.
Oh, it's my favorite. Straight up.
Deep Space Nine is my number 2, but I think Deep Space Nine is the best written of the shows. Voyager, I have a lot of history with because I was a kid when I got into it. I was 12. I was in 6th grade. And when the episode Scorpion, that's the one where the species 8472 comes out of the
that was
space,
so cool.
and then they do a Death Star like beam and they blow up like several Borg cubes. And I'm watching this, I'm like, dude, what is this? Because I knew who the Borg were because Star Trek First Contact came out earlier that school year for me. It came out right before my birthday. So I saw that with my grandma and my uncle. And then I didn't even know who the Borg were before that. I was just watching this. I was like, oh, this looks cool. And then I didn't realize they made a TNG episode based off of it, and then they made this Voyager episode.
Yeah, I think it was the same for me with Voyager being the first time I saw the Borg.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it ends with "to be continued." So I was like, okay, then next time it's on, I'll see part 2. But then the next week episode comes by and I don't see part 2. I'm like, where's part 2? And this was before I learned what a cliffhanger was. I didn't know what a cliffhanger was when I was a kid. Like, what happened? Yeah. Oh, it doesn't start for another. I had to learn that the new season didn't start until September or October. So I had to wait a few months in order to find out what happened with the Voyager being whisked away by the Borg cube, running away from the species 8472. So, but I started watching Voyager after that. I watched it all the way up till its ending, and stuff. So I'm curious what you thought of the ending. You remember how it ended? Time
yes,
travel.
I do. Yeah.
Old Janeway goes back in time, and yeah.
Yeah, the Borg Queen being in that episode, just in the series in general, I had no idea she was in, which movie was it?
First Contact.
Yeah, First Contact. I didn't see First Contact till, maybe, 2 years later. But, the using the Klingon, what was it, crystal, holocron-looking thing, as a time...
We lost you. Say something.
Hello. All right. Wait, did I just say everything and then it didn't pick up?
Didn't pick up, so you gotta say it again.
Oh man. So I liked the what's it called? Like the way they used all the characters and the situation, what would make Janeway want like time travel instead of just leave it at the beach because she's, like you have to do your duty, you're a Federation officer. You can't change the past, but she's like, no, I'm just gonna do it, you know? Like this like she knows the consequences.
What'd you think of how she stranded everybody in the Delta Quadrant? A lot of fans hate Janeway because of the circumstances. Like she's like, we don't want them hurting the Ocampo. We're gonna risk our freedom, or we're gonna risk being marooned in the Delta Quadrant in order to help these people we barely know.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb, but at the same time, I would have done the same as much as I would want to go home, but if I knew how many years it would take and stuff, maybe not. Technically, she could have gone back in time and stop that from happening. Technically.
Yeah, the thing was because Chakotay died and Seven of Nine died. That it had to be that. It had to be at that. It had to be at that moment. And all that. So,
Yeah.
honestly, though, I think there should have been one more episode. I think there should have been one more episode after the finale, where they
Oh,
debrief.
but Norporeal, they 7 of 9 appears in Picard. There's your next episode.
I hate you.
Yeah.
But Voyager, I think there should have been one more episode where we meet Tom and B'Elanna's daughter born, and all that. We should have seen the debriefing and all that, maybe, and then find out what was next in store for them. Like where were they going to go? Like were they going to?
Yeah.
Like Janeway becomes Admiral because of we know that she becomes Admiral because of Star Trek Nemesis, because she makes a cameo in that movie, giving Picard orders to go to the Romulan neutral zone and meet this new Praetor. So obviously I would have wanted to see her get promoted to Admiral. Maybe Chakotay gets his own ship, Captain. He's Captain Chakotay now. B'Elanna, maybe if we find out what happens to B'Elanna and Tom, Tom gets
I wonder how much the Doctor's character would have changed. Like during the future, he's like basically human, just not like he's got a wife and stuff. I wonder how much would change now that Janeway messed with time.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. That's a good question. But I think there should have been more of an epilogue. There should have been one more episode that kind of gives a proper send off to the crew and find out where they're going to go next.
Would you want another episode, or would you want to maybe a half-hour episode or a movie instead?
No, just another episode. Maybe another eepisode, or just one more episode, just kind of wrapping everybody's stories up, where they're going to go next and all that, and then all of them saying goodbye, just like how Deep Space Nine ended.
Oh yeah,
Deep Space Nine, the Dominion War ended very early in the part 2, and then of course there was still the whole Cisco being the emissary and all that, so he had to deal with he had to fight Dukat as Dukat's possessed by the power race and
that was actually creative in my opinion. How they wrapped they made sure Cisco technically could come back if they wanted him to.
Yeah,
but he's now with Prophets.
Yeah, I always wonder, is he dead? Is he alive? I was just curious what that was. Oh no, he's in the temple.
Wormhole.
He's in the wormhole, basically. He's in the enchanted temple, or I forget what they call it. I forget what they call the temple.
I have no idea.
Wormhole. So we say goodbye to him. We say goodbye to O'Brien. O'Brien goes to the academy. Worf goes and becomes an ambassador, even though that's short-lived, because by the time Nemesis comes out, he's back in Starfleet.
The timeline with Worf is so convoluted. I'm not sure how everything.
They could have just said, "Hey." They could have just said, "Hey, let's Celestial." Okay, DJ Ryan G says Celestial. He's right. Celestial Temple. Worf could have just been reassigned back to the Enterprise. They didn't have to have him become an ambassador to Chancellor Martok and all that. So I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah.
So, and then I think Bashir leaves for Starfleet Medical. The only people that stay on the station
No. It was O'Brien. He left. And then Julian was like, he's just gonna pursue romance with the new Dax.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, so he stays on the
O'Brien's like
station.
going to a school.
So he's
Yeah.
so he's staying on the station. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I watched the lower decks. So lower decks, they go to Deep Space Nine, the animated lower decks. I don't know if you've ever seen it. There's an episode where they go. There was an episode where they go to Deep Space Nine, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this one. And the only people that were in that episode was Quark and Colonel Kira, basically. So they were the only two.
Interesting.
Yeah, they were the only two that remained on the station. So everybody else was gone at that point. So, but yeah, everybody. So, I thought everybody got a great send off, and we got to say goodbye. And I felt bad leaving these characters. You know, that's how
good Deep Space especially Nine Odo. He's just in the link.
Yeah,
he's gonna be there for a bit.
Yeah, because Odo's healing the link because he had the virus in the first place, but then he gets the they get the virus and they make the antivirus and all that. So like they actually did write, like they did write with Section 31 in that show. But then all the new Trek they just love Section 31. We're gonna make Section 31 this. We're gonna make Section 31 that.
Aren't they gonna make a Section 31 show even?
Yeah, and it's supposed to be starring Michelle Yeoh. So like she was in Discovery, and then so she was in Discovery, and she was in season 3, and they decided to use the original version of the Guardian of Forever. If you don't remember, the Guardian of Forever was in the original series episode called "The City on the Edge of Forever." That was the one where Kirk and Spock go back in time to find a drugged up McCoy who, because he accidentally injects himself with a fictional drug, he's like, he's nuts. He thinks everybody's out to kill him, and he accidentally goes into the portal into the donut that they call the donut. The production people call it the donut, but it's basically the Guardian of Forever. It's a portal that takes them to the Great Depression era.
Yeah, I'm not too. I don't remember the original show too much.
Well, I'll say this: the reason why the episode was so insanely memorable was because they go back in time, and the only way for them to correct history. So McCoy goes back in time and he changes history. So when they try to call the Enterprise after McCoy goes into the portal, they try to call the Enterprise, and the Enterprise is not there. And Mr. Spock figures out that McCoy somehow changed history, and they have to find the point that he went to in order to be able to undo it. And ultimately, they figure out that in order for the timeline to be restored, they meet a woman. They meet a woman who's runs a charitable mission for homeless people and for people who are starving, because it's the Great Depression. They find out that woman is very important in history, alternate history, and keeps America out of the Second World War. So the Nazis developed the atomic bomb first, and then the world gets changed forever because of that. And they have to let her die. And so McCoy tries to save this woman's life, and Kirk has to hold him back as she's getting struck by a truck. And it's one of the most heartbreaking episodes I've ever seen. And Shatner's acting is perfect. So,
wait, wasn't there like a guy and his cat in that episode? I think I remember that. Right?
The guy and his what?
He has a cat, but the cat can like turn into a woman.
No, that was a different
episode.
That was Assignment Earth. That was the one with Gary Seven.
Oh.
And Gary Seven was basically their way of inserting the Doctor into Star Trek, because he had something like a sonic screwdriver, and he was immune to Mr. Spock's nerve pinch. And so he was like kicking everybody's ass. The only way they could subdue him was Kirk had to take a phaser on stun to knock him out, because Spock was trying to knock him out, was trying to nerve pinch him. It didn't work on him. So yeah. But yeah, they brought that whole Scary Seven thing into Picard season 2. They added that they incorporated that into Will Wheaton, into Wesley Crusher's time with the Traveler.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. Oh, yeah. Wesley Crusher. Man,
Yeah,
that was so weird.
yeah.
Uh,
What's up?
you
What's
gotta
up?
stop. Stop making me hate the show, please.
Well, what's up, Alex? Yeah, so we already talked Picard. We already talked. Yeah, Alex
Oh
was
no, I
on
could keep
with.
going.
Yeah, Alex was on with me. When I was doing the Picard streams, it was me, him, Gray, Wakizashi Sea House, and Prophet the Dragon. Four of us were covering the card. So yeah, I listened to a lot of people talk about it. Robert Meyer Burnett said it was a very Robert Meyer Burnett said it was a very good season, very good, and so did Dave Cullen. If you know who Dave Cullen is, he's another YouTuber
No.
I've whose Star Trek takes I've actually shared. He talks about Voyager quite a bit. So he said it was really good too. So we watched it. I gave it a shot. Can't say it's not good. I mean, if it's for nostalgia's sake, a lot of people are going to like it for that reason, bringing back the Next Generation crew. But as a written show, it's just show by itself. It's not very well written. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I've gotten the billions
I
of
liked it, but
arguments.
I only saw it once.
Yeah, I mean, well,
You
yeah,
know.
a lot of people liked it. So I mean, yeah, there's something about that resonated with people. So and I think my friend Dred Roberts said it's a more positive story about family and all that. So I think that's the thing that got people. The thing is just it wasn't well executed. It could have been better. So
Speaking of new Trek, do you mind telling me what happened with it was in Strange New Worlds. I think they're like the woman on the bridge. She goes back in time and she meets I think it's Kirk, and they mess with Khan. I don't know. You there?
yeah, sorry.
Okay. They mess with like baby Khan or something. What? I don't know why they would do that. I forget, honestly.
In
Like
Strange
it
New
was an
Worlds,
episode. Yeah, like it's
I
like
haven't seen
baby
it.
or child Khan, and uh, the security officer. She's like romance. She has a romance with Kirk. And try to stop someone from killing Khan or something.
Oh yeah. Oh, here's another stupid
That
thing
was
about
such a
that
weird
show
episode.
that I never got over. They made his descendant a main character, Lana Noonien Singh, and she's one of the most unlikable characters in that show. She's
Yeah, I
basically
agree with that.
she's girl boss. She's girl boss to Spock. Like, I mean, the way she treats Spock and all that, and I mean, I don't think Ethan Peck's Spock is the best, but I mean, he tries sometimes when he's not emotional. I couldn't stand her, and that was part of the reason why she was a big reason why I stopped watching the show. So, all of a sudden she has the hots for Kirk. Well, I mean, who doesn't have the hots for Kirk? I don't think I
Do
don't.
you
I
mind if
think
I
the
mute for a minute?
actor. What's up?
Do you mind if I mute for a minute? I'm gonna try something with my internet.
Sure.
I'll listen. Don't worry.
All right, that's fine. I heard about that. I haven't seen that episode. Apparently, she does an episode with Kirk, played by the dude from Vampire Diaries or something. And yeah, yeah, I didn't see that episode, but she ends up having the hots for him and stuff. So maybe she'll be a better character, when Kirk and her, do the thing, I don't know. But I don't know. I'm not a fan of Stranger New Worlds. I think it's another missed opportunity. Like, they had a chance to make something great. They had a chance to be in line with the original series. It's not that hard. You could just, if you don't want to keep the character, that's fine. But it's not hard to have some continuity. You don't have to. You don't have to watch every episode or read every book in order to do it. All you got to do is incorporate the characters that were in the cage. I mean, if you want to get rid of them, get rid of them, but at least show the characters. Have someone cast them, have new actors cast as them, and give them some send offs. You don't want to include them, like Dr. Boyce or Ensign Tyler
Agreed.
or the transporter dude and his Asian sidekick. Like all those characters, and all those characters from the cage. Just keep the continuity. And then you had Where No Man Has Gone Before. You had Dr. Piper, and you had so McCoy wasn't the first Doctor on the Enterprise. Like, just kind of work with that. I mean, like, why Dr. Mabanga? Dr. Mabanga was a specialist. He was a specialist under McCoy. So you're making him the senior officer. So what happens to him? Does he get demoted or something? They didn't think this through when they were putting this together. It's just like they didn't even watch Star Trek. Oh, I'm a fan. No, you're not. Akiva, you suck.
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry, Akiva, you suck.
Nerdporial, but would you like pretend the original Star Trek or and the Cage did not exist? If by itself, do you like the show? Because it's different from Picard where they're just using nostalgia.
Well, take away the nostalgia. Do I like the show? There were episodes that I like better than others, but ultimately, I mean, okay, without the continuity, maybe I'd give it more of a chance. Like the whole Gorn thing, for instance, you know, I probably would
be
interested in.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they didn't know who the Gorn were. Like, the Gorn was a new thing that they encountered in Arena, and they didn't know what they were. They never saw the ship before. They didn't know what they were dealing with.
My dad pointed that out when we first watched it.
Yeah, like, so I mean, yeah, and I mean the whole thing is it's basically a sequel to Discovery Season 2, because Discovery Season 2, you know, introduced, you know, the Enterprise, introduced Pike, you know, Antimon's Pike and all that.
I think I stopped at like Discovery Season 1, went back in like Season 4, and I was like, I'm not watching this even more. You know,
I'm not a fan of him knowing his future. I'm not a fan of him knowing that he's going to be in a wheelchair from, you know, from the two-parter Menagerie episode.
But it was a cool concept, though. They could have executed it better, sure, but I liked it. It just it gives you, like, when he's what episode was it? Season 2, episode 1. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, so I actually watched all of Season 2. So Season 1, Season 2 was what I watched in Discovery. I knew it was different, but I didn't realize like how bad it actually was when I first watched it. I just knew it was going to be.
At least it's ending this year.
It's in its final episodes now. So I don't know how many episodes the final season is going to be. So, but I tried watching the first episode of Season 5. I didn't watch Season 3 or 4 at all, and can't say it still doesn't make sense. Like, Michael Burnham is flying in space, like she's like, you know how like you have an action scene where somebody's on top of a car and all that,
yeah,
and driving really fast. Well, in this case, in the first episode, she's on top of a starship trying to get on board while it's at warp. So she's outside the ship while it's at
like
warp.
Like Leia in Last Jedi when she's flying in space.
Something like that. Maybe it works. I don't know. But I'm watching this. I'm like, no, I don't buy this at all. And the thing about New Trek, the way aliens act in New Trek, they act human. They just act like human in makeup, instead of acting like, you know, aliens, acting kind of weird and awkward and different.
Yeah.
That the older shows did. I don't know. Like in the same went with Picard. Same for Picard all the seasons. So, oh well. But that's just my take on Trek. So we got about half an hour left, dude. I was thinking, you know, do you want to talk? Got some. I was watching, because of our conversation this morning on AC stream. I watched the first episode of the Umbara arc, the Clone Wars, like a couple hours ago.
Good job! You did your homework.
So what you said it wasn't quite as good as it could have been?
No, yeah, it's wasted potential, basically. So,
why? I'm curious.
Like, because Krell's like, oh, I've killed these clones to gain favor with Hamzuku. I'm like, dude, can you just like hate clones, and the clones have to deal with that, and they have to decide whether or not they should stay loyal to the Republic? Like, it could have been, you could have stretched it out, you know? Like, maybe he goes to the dark side after the clones do something. Like, it didn't have to just be 4 episodes. Honestly, it could have been like maybe 3 arcs. Like, one focuses on Rex, maybe the next one fights or FL. There's so much you could do. Krell's a cool character, and they just pull him off. Like, you know how Ferris Offee, like, she deals with the consequences, she goes to jail.
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
yeah. Well,
You
they
know,
could have done something similar to that, but established it more.
they're bringing her back in this
Oh,
Tales of the Empire, or Tales of this, is it Tales of the Empire? Yeah, it's Tales of the
Tales of
Empire.
the Empire. Yeah,
They're
yeah. My
bringing.
siblings watched it without me. No, like, oh no. Eh.
I got a question for you. What is your favorite? What is your favorite arc in the Clone Wars? Like, my favorite arcs are the ones with the Sith. Like, I really enjoyed like the Night Sisters arc from season 3. I like the Maul coming back to life arc. Um, um,
Mm,
I liked all the
there's a
Sith
lot to choose
stuff.
from. Maybe the Nigerian arc, if that's what it's called. I'm not sure. Like, when they're going in to try to stop Ahsoka's species from becoming slaves, like the slave trade arc. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, the slaver one. Yeah,
With
with
the
the cat
queen, yeah,
people. Yeah, I remember that one.
yeah, the cat people. That's a good way to
Yeah,
put it.
that was based off
Um,
of a comic. That, I believe, was based off of a comic. So that had a source material.
yeah. I wonder if they credited the author of that. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't know. But I think
And
everybody's favorite. I think everybody's favorite arc from, especially from season 4, was Umbara with Krell.
yeah,
I thought Krell was okay. I really love the opening of
Um,
the Umbara arc. It felt like you once again put the wars into Star Wars. Like you're seeing battle and all that. It was actually
yeah,
it
like
was like,
World War II, but at nighttime.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's
just
pretty
like
cool.
so. Uh, I think. What do you think of the? You said you mentioned Barris. What do you think of that arc, the Hitchcock arc, the Who Done It arc? Or the It Was Not Me arc
Um,
for Ahsoka.
so it technically makes sense for her getting captured so soon, like the second time, because you're on Coruscant. This is where everyone is, like all the Republic troops and stuff. Like it makes sense that she gets captured soon. But I think they could have. This could technically be like a season-long thing if you think about it. Like she gets off world or whatever, and then I don't know, a big manhunt. And then you could show Barris sabotaging throughout, trying to stop her from getting back or something. I don't know. I like how she pinned it on her best friend. That was cool. Cool concept. You know.
So AC is bringing his
I don't
knowledge
know.
back to the chat right now. So yeah. So by the way, isn't don't how I forget? Didn't you say you like the micro series CLS?
Yeah, I do. I love
Yes,
Dirge
so
the
do I.
best. I
So
used to think that Dirge was just Grievous because it was like back to back. I was
yeah,
like, wait, because Obi-Wan fights both of them. Like
yes,
that was Grievous. But he's all gooey now, so he has to use this. No, it's two different characters. I didn't know that till the Bounty Hunter War comics,
yeah.
where he appears in canon now. You know, but I had no idea. I
I was
thought
always
Grievous and Dirge were the same.
was curious if they were ever going to bring Dirge into the main the Clone Wars show, and I was like, I guess not. So, but what did you think of what did you think of the final 4 episodes of the Clone Wars? I loved how it tied in. Was talking to my friend about this, and he actually made a video editing clips of Revenge of the Sith with clips of the fall of Coruscant, or the attack on Coruscant from the micro series.
Yeah, I thought they were
And
gonna do that. You know how in the final episode where Ahsoka and Captain Rex are, um, fighting off all the clones on this vendor.
yeah,
I thought that they were just gonna start playing dual Revenge, Obi-Wan versus Anakin, the final duel. I thought they were gonna start doing that in Clone Wars style. I was like, wait, come on, but no, because I looked on YouTube the day before, and someone had just posted a fan-made in Clone Wars style Mustafar fight.
yeah,
I was like, wait, I thought it was real, but then I watched the episode, and I'm like, oh, man,
yeah.
they
So
could have done more.
there were, I think there was a scene with the Jedi Council that they did include briefly, and then they cut away. Um, they cut away, and then we find out that
Yeah,
Ahsoka was actually in that scene as well, or something. So I don't know. I thought they did a really good job, kind of trying to connect everything to Revenge of the Sith. So as a so that was some continuity work that I could definitely appreciate as a nerd, because one of the things I liked about early Trek was just that there was a lot of consistency. Like most fans appreciate, most nerds, most fans of properties like this appreciate the consistency, that the care, because that shows that they care about what they're doing. The problem is with a lot of new stuff now, people don't care about the stuff, and that's why fans are
that's
shit
one
out.
reason why I love the that's one reason why I like the DS9 so much, because remember when Sloane first appears in the first
Yes.
Section 31 episode?
Yes.
They bring up how Bashir was in a Jem'Hadar camp for like, and then they go into that when he's interrogating him. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
I just watched an episode. Yay, this like
Yeah,
awesome.
the Hippocratic Oath. Yep, that's one.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, but yeah, I like those four. I liked, dude. I did like the Citadel arc with Tarkin and that.
I forgot about. Yeah, the Citadel arc and the one with Morale Evolved, where Obi-Wan's with Cad Bane. Those two are so good. I think the Morale Evolved one might be my favorite.
Yeah, it was just like yeah. I think the Citadel arc had they're trying to rescue Evan Peel. I think was the Jedi in that one. He's the one that looks like a goblin. Looks like a little goblin.
And Tarkin.
And Tarkin, yeah, that's true. Tarkin too, and Tarkin was a jerk, and they saved his life. I'm like, he shouldn't have saved his life. Billions of people on Alderaan are gonna hate you. So
yeah, and then Echo died in the second one, and you're like, what?
So which ARC trooper dies in the Citadel? Who dies? Because I think was it Echo?
Yeah, he's technically not dead, but yeah,
because he fell off the Citadel. So I forget
he got shot by a turret, and then if you're talking about falling off, and that was Charger or whatever, and like Red Eye died. I think even Boyle died, but they didn't focus on them. They only focused on Echo.
Okay, fives. I remember fives. I remember the arc with the arc that introduced the concept of the chip, the Order 66 chip.
Yeah, I didn't know until recently that people hated that idea of the chips. I'm like, but it makes so much sense. And then I realized that Revenge of the Sith didn't set nothing up like that,
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean that's like it just kind of happened. So, I did like that 4-parter. That was actually the arc that was given that Filoni showed a trailer for to kind of keep us interested right after season. So right after season 5 ended, the Lucas acquisition happened. So 2012 was when the Lucas acquisition. Disney acquisition happened.
Yeah, I remember.
And season 5 of the Clone Wars was still going on. By the time season 5 ended, my buddy's like, "There's a possibility this might be canceled." I'm like, really? Like, dude, how is this show going to be canceled? Well, because Disney is going to be taken over, and Cartoon Network is, I believe, run by Warner Brothers. So
I wonder how long it would have lasted if Disney didn't.
I don't know. Honestly, I think. What they said was, and they did a panel. They did a Clone Wars panel, 8 seasons. They had 8 seasons worth of stories. So they would have included. Are you familiar with Dark Disciple?
Yes, yeah, with the Ventress and what's his name?
Quinlan Voss.
Quinlan Voss.
Yeah. So they so in that arc there were 2 arcs. That those 2 arcs would have ended Ventress's story. So, but since they didn't adapt those, they brought her back for what was it? What did they bring her back for? For Tales of the Empire or the Bad Batch?
That made me so mad.
Yeah, I was going Prophet of the Dragon rage mode. I was like, what the hell? So I liked that because I read the book. I read the entire book. I liked that story. That was a great story. I thought it was a beautiful ending for. I mean, it was a sad ending, but I thought it was a good ending for Ventress and all that. So,
yeah, she's not the only one who's done that. Like they added Kanan Hera for Rebels just because they can, even though Kanan had his own comic where they showed where he was during Order 66, so it doesn't line up with that batch.
Yeah,
Hera's there, okay, that's fine. And then they do Senator Chuchi, which we haven't seen since Clone Wars. Oh, that's cool. And then they just bring us Ventress. Like, what? She doesn't need to be here. She doesn't even do anything in the episode. She's like, the Empire knows how Omega is force. Like, it's basically Omega's force sensitive, and then she leaves. But they spent a whole other episode with about the bounty hunter from Book of Boba Fett, Fennec. She
Ugh.
like they spent an episode with her just so they can get Fennec to invite Ventress to the Bad Batch. It's
Oh,
ridiculous. Oh,
I see.
and then it ended Chillporeal. It ended and they killed off Scorch from the Republic Commando game.
Mm-hmm.
They just kill him off, and not only does he not say his name, even though it's definitely Scorch, but his last line is like General, the village is up or something. Like they don't make it memorable. He's just there to die, like a random bad guy. And all the there's assassin clones that they introduced in the episodes of season 3. And I was thinking, oh, it's gonna be Tech because he dies in season 2. No, they just die. they're just
And
thugs,
this this is Bad Batch,
Yeah, it's not worth their time.
right? Really? Okay. All right. Because AC says he likes Bad Batch, so I was considering watching Bad Batch.
Hmm. AC.
So, but yeah, what was I going to say? But yeah, I like the art. I mean, I like the Clone Wars arcs overall. They're still well worth watching. I'm trying to remember. There was an arc that they were going to do. So there was. You're familiar with Sons of Dathomir?
Yeah.
That's one where Maul escapes from
Yeah.
Sidious's capture, and he gets Mother Taliesin involved, and they capture Dooku, and they try to. It's basically them versus Sidious and General Grievous, and General Grievous ultimately kills Mother Taliesin and all that. It was a really, but I looked at the comic, dude. It's a really awesome comic. That's a really it's
Well,
things that we wanted. It's things we wanted to see paired up in the Clone Wars, and that would have been a perfect episode arc to bring back for season 7. I don't know why they brought the arc with the sisters. I mean, I get why they brought the Bad Batch back, because the Bad Batch was actually done, or they did some of the early work for that arc, and then they finally finished it for the final season.
Yeah.
But I think they should have done the to prep for Maul coming back. They should have had that arc with they should have had that arc. They should have had the Son of Dathomir. That was so awesome. That would have been such an epic conclusion to what they started with the Maul taking over Mandalore arc, as AC points out right here. So but that would have been a good thing. They were going to have a Top Gun style of arc where been R2 paired up with Rex, I think, and maybe Anakin.
Yeah.
I don't know. They would have done something
and
like
Jar Jar,
that.
I think, right?
Yeah, and then there would have been
Jar.
another one with little green men, aliens, basically, being jerks, and everybody like going after the aliens because they're just, you know what they do, they abduct people. Nobody likes them, and then in Star Wars Galaxy nobody likes little green men, basically. So
and then they were gonna have a Yuzon Vaughn arc, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that was the plan. So who knows? I'm trying to think what else. There was one where Ahsoka was supposed to be down in the bottom bowels of Coruscant, and she would have found a Sith temple. She would have found a Sith temple, and she would have been very close to bumping into Sidious. At least that's what
I wonder how they like, you know how in Revenge of the Sith the temple gets destroyed. I wonder if they would continue that little story and be like, this is what the Empire did after with the underground temple. You saw Rebels, right? Star Rebels.
Yeah, I liked season 1. I know a lot of people didn't like season 1. I actually liked season 1, especially when Tarkin showed up. Then the season got serious and everything. Because before that it was very cartoony, but I still thought there were some cool ideas that they did. but overall, compared to Clone Wars, it's a big it's not a big it's a step down. And the ending was okay, I guess. And then they they Ezra they Ezra Ezra, and
Yeah,
they Ezra, and now he's in. I don't remember. Did they bring him back in Ahsoka?
Ahsoka.
Did you watch
Yeah.
Ahsoka? Did they bring him back
Oh
to?
my goodness. I think it was like the third episode. I told my family the show's bad. They didn't agree with me until I think the final one. But the entire one and two weren't the worst. It was bad, but it wasn't unwatchable. But then the rest of the show happened. Like, okay, I hate this. I hate Ahsoka. It's my least
I
favorite Star Wars show, probably. Like
yeah
Obi-Wan was technically worse, but Ahsoka
yeah.
it made me so mad.
Okay. All right. So, but yeah, the episode was just. I didn't get past episode 5 of Ahsoka, and that
Oh,
was the
good
an
for you.
episode
Very good for you.
episode 5. But I liked like the best part of episode 5 was Anakin, Hayden Christensen. Like
But it made no sense for him to come back.
no, it didn't. But I liked, but what he did, like his acting, the way he moves and all that, he still has it. He still has it. Like
Yeah.
he's so. I mean, he was the best part of what I saw. But yeah, the I didn't. I wasn't interested enough to keep watching. Like there's just the show was crap. I got a question for you, and I've gotten a lot of debates about this. How do you feel about Andor?
Dude, I had a migraine the entire time I watched it for the first time, and I was like, "This crap is boring." I did not like it. But then, I think it was
Kind of, we lost you, bro.
that
We
doesn't feel
lost.
like Star Wars, but the Empire, um, the Empire, the presence and everything, they did it good, but they're trying too hard to make them British henchmen. Like that's something I'm that they do a lot in these new Star Wars shows. They make them like overly British, like in Bad Batch. If you watch them, they're all British actors, and then they make them overly evil to the point you can't be like, oh, they're normal human beings. Like the stormtroopers, they didn't talk in the original trilogy, but they weren't in your face and be like, I'm gonna kick a cat or something.
Yeah, I felt. I mean, I felt like in Andor, like there were some issues with the writing. I'll say this, like it's like instead of like logical progression, it's just like this is going to happen and that's going to happen and so and so and so. Um, the I think what they did well was I didn't like at first. I got into arguments with people, but then I watched it again, and some of the slow burn kind of works because when you get into a firefight, and they do every arc, because the series is basically split up into 4 arcs. Basically, they they bring in a lot of characters. They bring in a lot of new characters to kill them off. Basically, I don't know if you. I'm sure you noticed
Exactly.
that. So, but
Yeah.
the thing was, we spent enough time with them to care about them to a degree, to the point where there was some there were the firefights, and when characters did die from the firefights, there was some it was impactful, and it felt like it rang true a little bit. So it wasn't like stupid stuff to the point where
And I
you have
like how it keeps up with scenes with Rogue One.
yeah. So it wasn't like, Prophet of the Dragon screaming, shoot them. What are you doing? What is with this stupid action sequence? Because there's a lot of action sequences nowadays where characters have guns, but yet somehow people who are unarmed can still kill them, even though they're unarmed and they're far away and all that. So it's just, it's got to make sense. It's got to make sense. So, um, but we are approaching the time. So I was going to ask you, CLS, if you're still there. We didn't
Yeah,
quite get to
yeah.
we didn't quite get to Zelda. I did want to talk Zelda with you.
Oh,
We'll have to do that in the sequel. So one thing I did want
oh
to
yeah.
ask you is but I gotta afterwards I gotta get your friend code. I'll send you my friend code for the Switch. The other thing
No,
is
no, 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 no.
what?
The Switch I have, I don't think I'll be using it anytime soon. It's kind of broken and stuff. So if I
Um,
get a new one in the future, we'll yeah, why not?
okay, well, okay, fair.
Trust me.
I was just I was gonna say, you said you broke your Switch. Okay, I was gonna ask you what games you had
Um,
besides Tears of the
Breath of
Kingdom.
the Wild, obviously. Yeah. Smash Bros. Um, and some of the Assassin's Creed games. A game called Hue. Um, Metroid Dread, but I haven't played it yet.
Dude, you gotta
Um,
play. Dude, you're gonna. I love playing Metroid Dread. I love
yeah.
Metroid. Period. So
The Nintendo Switch Online games that like Oracle of Ages. I'm starting to play. You know, they have a lot of big old games that I want to play on there. So like people talk about. I That was the first time I played a Mario game too. Like it was Mario Bros. 3. I played it on there. What other games? I don't have too many. Oh, the Ace Attorney games.
oh, those. Okay, I've never
Those were
played
good.
those.
Oh, really?
Really? Yeah.
Now you got something to do. Really good. They're less of a game and more of a story, honestly, but still fun. You
All
know,
right, I'll keep that.
and
I'll keep.
they mix seriousness with comedy perfectly. They
Obje-
some of the
ob-
times they have. It's your channel. You go.
objection.
Yeah, no objection.
So
But
what are you?
they have
So
some
what are you?
adding on stuff.
What are you currently playing?
Dead Cells. I want to beat it.
Dead Cells.
Yes, I
Oh,
know it's a very hard
Metroid.
game, but I want to beat
That
it.
game, the Metroidvania. Okay, I remember that was big. Like, I think 2 years ago. I think it was big 2 years ago. Maybe it was three. I don't remember. I think I have Dead Cells on my Switch. I don't remember. Um, I had what was that one game? I can't think of it. You have, do you have a whole lot of downloaded games on your Switch? You like you have like
Oh, most of them, yeah, most of
you
them
have
are downloaded.
you ever play Hollow Knight or
No, but that's probably gonna be my next game.
okay. I still have to play I still have to play, what do you call it, Ori. I still have to play Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh yeah, I have those games. I tried. I think the first one. I like 10 minutes in, I got bored because I could tell this has to take a long time to like learn the tools and stuff. So like, okay, I'm gonna leave this for a bit and play the games I already have first. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, so I have a lot of games. Like, I have a lot of games on my PS4, PS3 that I still have not played yet, never not opened or played yet. So, and I have 3DS games. I have
I have some
um
PS2 games that are just sitting there
same.
from like my dad, like he had them. I just haven't
Yeah.
touched them. Like okay.
Yeah. Next stream we'll talk about gaming. We'll talk about. I want to find out what your history of gaming is, and what some of your favorite stuff is. We'll get into that next time. So we're okay. So we're about 5 minutes away. So you have anything you want to promote, CLS? You have anything you want to
Um,
plug?
so I was thinking about writing and doing a three-part video of Bad Batch, one episode for each season. And I was thinking about like taking a break on YouTube and do those over the summer, like an hour-long video for each, you know. But other than maybe like appearing here or someone else's channel, nah, I don't really have too much. I might like upload a short every now and then, but that's it.
Look who's here, man! Look who's here.
Hey, Zach, the reason why I'm here. Hello, Zach's Master.
Yeah, we mentioned you earlier, Zach. Thanks for dropping by, man. So okay, so you're doing a Bad Batch thing. That's cool, man. Anything else? Anything else?
Yeah,
Are you gonna do any live streams? Are you gonna be bigger than all of us?
I'll bug people. I'll be like, hey, have you on your pen, please? I don't know.
And you're
One other
you're
thing,
gonna
I think.
continue to troll me in the chat too.
Oh, of course, why not?
Of course, of course.
But another thing, maybe Lawrence of Arabia. Maybe I can get that done by September, or maybe even July, maybe because
The
I love
movie.
that movie. It's my favorite movie. Yeah, Lawrence of Arabia.
That's actually, it's gonna be shocked to admit, but I still have not watched Lawrence of Arabia.
Dude, it's maybe 3 hours, but it's 3 hours well spent.
All right.
watch it.
I was thinking, well, you know, if I was thinking maybe watching it. And I don't know if you'd want to do a watch party. Maybe we could do a watch party in the future for that. I don't know. We'll talk about it. So,
Yeah.
but I definitely watch. I that's on my list. It's on my list right here. So, all right, man. But that's cool. Thanks once again. Thanks for joining me. I'm glad. I'm glad.
I'm glad you're
this. Yeah, despite the technical difficulties on both of our ends, so it wasn't just you, it's me too. So, but everybody, thanks for being here. I'm definitely going to be. There's going to be another Chillporeal next Thursday. I have the guest lined up. We'll find you guys will find out in the outro who it's going to be. I keep saying I've been going to be doing Wheel of Time stuff again. I haven't read nearly as much as I should. I'm still in the prologue of the Lord of Chaos book
and you
6.
call yourself a nerd.
Yeah, I know. so hopefully I'll get those streams back up. House of the Dragon's going to be coming back next month. So I'm definitely going to be doing a stream with, I'm definitely be doing, I plan on doing after shows again for House of the Dragon. Hopefully people will tune in for that. It's going to be fun. I'm going to rewatch season 1. So, and yeah, I have videos I want to do. I mean, I put my 2001 video on hold. Thinking of doing a Planet of the Apes sequel video, saying are the original Planet of the Apes sequels worthy of its of the original? And of course, the answer is pretty much a hard no.
I'm gonna break down your video.
Oh no, I hope you don't. I hope you don't, bro. I hope you don't. So, but yeah, so there's some videos. I've been really lazy with videos lately, so I got to get some uploaded content out there. So, and I know AC's doing his May 25th stream, Star Wars Day stream. So I'm hopefully I'll be free. I want to play Shadows of the Empire with him. He's going to be playing Shadows of the Empire, and Shadows of the Empire was my first Star Wars game that I really got into as a kid. So we'll talk about Star Wars games. So we'll talk about Star Wars games next time.
Definitely.
So that's one thing we're going to be doing. So, but I'm trying to think what else. I just looking up. Chillporeal is going to continue with hopefully more guests and I'm going to bring some guests back like Salty and Pops and a whole bunch of people. I do want to bring Zach's back too. Zach's my stream with Zach's was awesome. So I want back. So the thing is, it's just there's too many people and so little time for me. So
exactly.
Everybody, thanks for being here, and have a very Nerporial night and stay safe. And
good night, everyone.
Let's see who's going to be on next time on Chillporeal.